Hello and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's story, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video because what we are about to uncover is one of the darkest and most mysterious stories that has shaken both South Africa and the international community. The question everyone is asking is this: was Nathi Mthethwa silenced? And what is the dark truth behind his shocking death in Paris, now under the spotlight at the Madlanga Commission? The death of Nathi Mthethwa, a figure who had long carried both political weight and controversy, has left a cloud hanging over South Africa's political landscape. He was not just an ordinary man in Paris. He was a man with a past, a man who held secrets, a man whose life was tied to powerful structures, and a man whose sudden death has raised more questions than answers. What happened in Paris? Was it a tragic accident, a case of natural causes, or something far more sinister? These are the questions tearing through the Madlanga Commission hearings, and the more evidence that surfaces, the darker the picture seems to get. Eyewitness accounts from Paris paint a chilling story. Nathi was reportedly seen alive and well just hours before he was found dead in his hotel room. Sources say he had been in meetings, some even claim he had been approached by individuals described as shadowy figures, people no one could clearly identify. His death was reported as sudden, with French authorities initially suggesting cardiac arrest. But soon after, inconsistencies began to emerge. There were whispers of unusual bruising, whispers of documents missing from his luggage, whispers that perhaps Nathi knew too much and that his silence was orchestrated, not natural. Back in South Africa, the shockwaves were immediate. Some mourned him as a servant of the nation, others were quick to bring up his controversial legacy, his time as minister, and his ties to major scandals that have yet to see full daylight. But all of that aside, the mystery of his death in Paris could not be ignored. It wasn't long before the Madlanga Commission was convened, with the task of digging deeper, asking the hard questions, and exposing whether Nathi's death was indeed the result of a grand cover-up. Testimonies before the commission have been nothing short of explosive. Insiders hinted that Nathi had sensitive information that could have rocked political structures if ever made public. One witness described him as a man under pressure, someone who felt watched, someone who feared that his movements were being monitored. Another witness alleged that in the weeks leading to his Paris trip, Nathi had spoken of clearing his conscience and setting the record straight. If that is true, then the timing of his death is more than coincidental, it is suspicious. The commission has also heard about missing files. According to sources close to the investigation, Nathi was carrying documents that could have exposed questionable dealings tied to state contracts and powerful individuals. Yet after his death, those files were nowhere to be found. Were they stolen? Were they destroyed? Or were they the very reason his life ended so suddenly? The dark truth may lie in those missing papers, and many fear they may never resurface. The French investigation has been frustratingly quiet, with officials insisting there is no foul play. But South Africans are not convinced. For too long, they have seen stories of powerful men and women who die suddenly just when accountability looms. For too long, commissions have been set up only to leave more questions than answers. The Madlanga Commission, however, has already sparked a fire, because this is not just about Nathi, it is about a system where truth seems constantly buried under layers of secrecy, where the powerful appear untouchable, and where silence is sometimes enforced in the most permanent way possible. Public reaction has been fierce. On social media, the hashtag surrounding Nathi's death trended for days, with South Africans demanding the truth. Some argued he was silenced because he was ready to turn against his former allies. Others claimed his death was a warning to anyone else who might be thinking of exposing dirty secrets within government circles. Then there are those who believe his passing was simply fate, a tragic but natural death that conspiracy theories are exaggerating. Yet, with every revelation from the commission, more people are beginning to suspect that what happened in Paris was not just chance. The Madlanga Commission itself has come under fire, with critics saying it may be too compromised to reveal the full truth. They argue that those implicated are too powerful, too entrenched in the system to allow damning evidence to ever come to light. But supporters of the inquiry insist it must continue, because even if the full truth never surfaces, the very act of questioning, of investigating, of challenging the official story, is an act of resistance against silence. As we reflect on Nathi Mthethwa's mysterious death, one cannot help but think about the long list of South African figures who have died under strange circumstances. Is this just another tragic addition to that list, or is it the turning point where South Africans finally demand accountability that sticks? Was Nathi silenced because he was ready to speak out? Did he carry secrets that someone, somewhere, could not risk being exposed? Or is this a tragic coincidence wrapped in layers of suspicion because of the toxic political climate we live in? One thing is undeniable: the nation is not satisfied with the official explanations. People want answers, and they want the truth, no matter how dark or dangerous it might be. The Madlanga Commission may not have all the answers yet, but it has already forced the country to confront the uncomfortable question of how far some will go to protect power, and how fragile a life can be when secrets grow too heavy to keep. So I ask you this: do you believe Nathi Mthethwa was silenced, or do you believe his death was just an unfortunate event in Paris? Was this a message to others, or are we looking too deeply into a tragedy? The debate rages on, and until the full truth is revealed, South Africa will remain haunted by the mystery of that night in Paris. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, share this video widely, and join the discussion in the comments. Because sometimes, the only way to fight silence is to keep asking questions, keep demanding answers, and never let the dark truth remain hidden.